Jurors heard more testimony on day 2 of trial in a 2022 Midtown shooting spree. Reza Kenya is accused of killing 2 and injuring a 3rd in what prosecutors call a move of vengeance.
Atlanta News First Yasmina Alston is live at the Fulton County Courthouse tonight. And Yasmina, it got pretty emotional in the courtroom today.
Carly, it did. Loved ones of the victims in this case have been sitting in the courtroom throughout the trial so far. We're on day 2, and at times it has been emotional for them hearing and seeing some of the testimony.
On the second day of testimony in the 2022 Midtown shooting spree trial, jurors heard from multiple witnesses about what happened that day so they can decide if Reza Kenya is guilty of killing 2 and injuring 1, while her attorneys try to prove she is not guilty by reason of insanity. Tuesday, jurors watched body cam footage from the responding Atlanta police officer to 1100 Peachtree, one of 2 deadly scenes involved, where prosecutors say Kenya shot and killed her former supervisor Wesley Freeman in his office. A former employee of that accounting firm, BDO, also testified and described being in the office and hearing 3 gunshots. He described hiding before going into the hallway and seeing a woman with a gun who was allegedly mumbling to herself. Both prosecutors and Kenya's attorney questioned this witness about Kenya's demeanor at the time. This is a point of focus because the defense wants to prove Kenya is not guilty by reason of insanity, while the state says she was calculated in what she did. Prosecutors say Kenya also allegedly fatally shot Michael Shinners and injured Michael Horn at the 1280 West condos in Midtown, where they worked and she lived. Prosecutors also called on an Atlanta attorney who previously decided to not take on a whistleblower case of Kenya's. He testified that Kenya actually came to his home the day of the shootings, but he wasn't there. According to the prosecution, Kenya had a hit list. Police at the time noting 2 of her victims were named in a lawsuit that she had filed.
And Kenya is facing multiple charges, including felony murder and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Live at the Fulton County Courthouse, Yasmina Alston, Atlanta News First.